Hello, ladies. Yes, Mia. Corn tart flake day. I can't talk already. Hello, Butt. Hi, Mama Reagan. Hope everyone's day has been well so far. All right, guys. Gonna be a pretty good stream today. Making actually one of my old-time favorite dishes that my mom used to make for us. Mia. Well, good thing we are actually doing the cornflake tart first. So you won't have to stay up too late. It's rainy there today, but we had rain the last 2 days, but it actually turned out to be pretty nice. Went for a good walk a little bit earlier before I set up. And we actually got some sunshine, which is good. All right, so chicken cacciatore. Something that my mom used to make for us quite often while we were kids. You're not first. Hello, Fecal. What's going on? Everyone's fighting. You're shattered. Taking care of the kidlets today. 11-hour shift, you guys. Holy smokes. Is it still spring break then, I'm guessing? Because that's what we have going on over here still too. You guys, death is here. Have no fear. We're safe. Okay, so I know this is going to be shocking, but I'm not making the pasta on stream today. Just gonna use some boxed penne and take it easy a little bit. But I did that just so that we could have enough time to make dessert today and not rush at all. So chicken cacciatore with penne noodles. We'll go over a little bit of the history later on after I go through our plan for the day. I was wondering, I was like, fecal fetus. I was like, where has Muffin been? I actually thought about this yesterday after stream. I was like, Muffin wasn't in here again. Wonder what happened. But you're back. We're gonna be okay. And I'm gonna be pairing this with some chili garlic roasted Brussels sprouts. Just gonna roast them up in the oven, a nice high heat. Get them really crispy and a little bit charred. That's the best way to eat them. Yeah, if we have to, hey Death. I guess we'll use some box pasta today. And then cornflake tart. So Mia, don't be upset. But I did it kind of like a PB&J style, and I'm gonna add peanuts into it. Because I think that would be really nice. But by all means, you guys do not have to add peanuts into it. I just thought it would be more delicious that way. And then I'm also not going to make custard with it. We'll probably eat it with ice cream or maybe nothing at all. You approve? Okay, good. Okay, so one more thing we might have time to do today is cure the salmon. So we didn't pick that up the other day. I guess we just didn't decide what we wanted to do for this weekend because I know that I said I wasn't going to stream Friday. And then I got out of going out for dinner on Friday, so now we are going to stream that. So Betty's out today, and she's going to pick up the salmon. I just don't know what time she's going to be home. So I'll try and do it on stream, but if not, I already posted the recipe for us in Discord. The only thing I'm omitting is the horseradish, because we have some people here that don't like fresh horseradish. That's true, Mama Reagan. Yeah, they're only young once, and then we grow up. The name Food Baby was taken, so you landed on fecal fetus. Yeah. I know, I am human, guys. It's insane. Okay, so the tart is going to take us about 45 minutes to make. And we're going to bust that out first thing, so it's done and done. And then we can just focus on the rest of our meal afterwards. They do say that you can serve the tart warm though, so that's up to you if you want to reheat it after, but I think it'll be good either way. The chicken cacciatore will probably take us about an hour to make, and with the pasta as well. So that includes everything that we have to make for this. I think that's not very long. It's probably one of the shortest things that I've made on stream, but there are a couple of steps that we really have to pay attention to. Obviously, we don't want dry chicken, and then we don't want overcooked pasta either. So we're still using some basic skills here today. And lastly, the Brussels sprouts probably take about 40 minutes to clean and then dress and then roast until they're crispy. So leave yourself enough time. You don't want to rush these in the oven. I mean, you don't want overcooked Brussels sprouts because they'll be mushy, and you don't want undercooked because then they're too crunchy. So there still is a fine line with perfection here with this meal. Ingredients. I will go over these as we make the meals. If you guys want to follow along, everything is posted in Discord. So feel free to follow there. That way I won't waste too much time at the beginning talking about that stuff. Okay, order of prep. So we are going to make our pastry crust first. The recipe that I looked at said that you can just use a bought pastry crust if you want. Probably would be like Tenderflake brand if you're in North America, and you can usually find it frozen. But if you're like me and you want to practice how your pie crusts turn out, we're going to make that first. It's not very hard. We already did it once on stream, so let's do it again. And I think I'm using a different recipe than last time as well. Hi, Fiscal, how are you? Okay, after we make our pastry crust, it has to sit for about 20 to 30 minutes and rest up before we roll it out. So in that time, we're going to get our boiling pot set up for the pasta. We are going to toast our peanuts, and then after that, we're going to finish our cornflake tart. After that, I put that I would make the salmon cure, but I think I'm just going to leave that till like later, and if we have extra time, we'll do that at the end. So we're going to sear off the chicken first thing. We're just going to get it seared. We're not going to completely cook it at all or anything at this point. Just going to get our skin nice and crispy. I am using whole chicken legs, skin on. You could use really whatever you want in this recipe, which I'll go through that in just a little bit. And then we're gonna start our sauce after that. So chicken comes out of the pan, and then we finish the rest of our sauce in the same pan. And then we are going to use about 6 cups of pasta. Are supposed to feed 8 people. So that's how much pasta I'm gonna make today. And then go from there. So not a ton of steps, but some important ones. Okay, history or fun fact time. Just gonna get a little bit of water first. So cacciatore means hunter in Italian. In cuisine, alla cacciatora, so in Italian, refers to a meal prepared hunter style, with onions, herbs, usually tomatoes, often bell peppers, and sometimes wine. Cacciatore is popularly made with braised chicken or rabbit. I've never had it with rabbit, but that does sound really, really good. The salamino cacciatore is a small salami that is seasoned with only garlic and pepper. I didn't know you can get a salami that was flavored that way. Once again, interesting. So a basic cacciatore recipe usually begins with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil heated in a large frying pan. Chicken parts, dusted with salt and pepper and then flour, are seared in the oil for 3 to 4 minutes on each side. The chicken's removed from the pan and most of the fat is poured off. I don't know if I'm going to pour the fat off. We'll see how much is there. But we still need enough in there to like saute our veg. So the remaining fat is used to fry the onions, peppers, or other vegetables for several minutes. A can of peeled tomatoes is typically added to the pan along with rosemary and a half cup of dry red wine. Bay leaf may be used along with chopped carrot to give extra sweetness. The seared chicken parts are returned to the pan, which is then covered. The dish is done after about an hour at a very low simmer. Cacciatore is often served with a rustic bread or pasta on the side. I think penne is so good for this dish because it's just gonna like soak up all of that really, really delicious wine tomato sauce. But you could also use rotini or probably even macaroni would be good. The many different variations of this entree are based upon ingredients available in specific regions. For example, in southern Italy, cacciatore often includes red wine, while northern Italians might use white wine. Some versions of the dish may use mushrooms. So that's what my mom used to do. She used to put in canned mushrooms. And honestly, it was not that bad. I'm not doing mushrooms in mine today. I'm going to do carrots instead and peppers. Marcella Hazan, in her Essentials of Classic Italian Cooking book, offers an explanation for the infinite variations on cacciatore. Since there has always been a hunter in nearly every Italian household, every Italian cook prepares a dish with a claim to that description. That makes sense to me, and it supports the conclusion that there are so many renditions of chicken cacciatore that the term kind of borders on meaningless. Like, you can kind of make this dish however you want to make and with whatever you want to put in it. Basically, just a braised chicken with tomato sauce. And I've always had it with pasta, but bread would be good too, because then you could soak up all that delicious stuff that you made, right? And that's it. That's it for fun facts. All right, let's make our pastry crust. Let's do this. So 1 cup of flour and 1/3 of a cup of very cold butter is where we're gonna start. And this says it makes 1 crust, so we'll see how big it makes. Turning on some lights, guys. Chilling. Ooh, and do we want to check out the creme fraiche real quick before I start? Because it actually got like so much thicker. Like, look at that. It's just like sticky and ooey and gooey. Compared to yesterday, like this was just whipping cream and buttermilk. But you can see just how jiggly it already is. I think it'll definitely take about 2 days at this temperature. Guys, I think my chat froze. I'm just refreshing my page. Okay, we good? Are we ready? So 1/3 of a cup of butter. We live yet? Fiscal, how was this soup last night? Oh man, it was so good. And honestly, I had some leftovers for lunch today, and I think it was even better the second day. And yeah, there's leftovers of the salad too. Pretty stoked on it. These little measuring marks on the pounds of butter seriously make my life. Like, it's the easiest thing ever. So that's our 1/3 cup. I'm just going to cut it a little bit smaller. then we're gonna work that into our flour. I have to say I'm really excited for making the cubanos tomorrow. I don't know if anyone watched that little clip that I posted from the movie Chef in the Discord, but love that movie. And I totally forgot that they did that in there. Okay, just give me 2 seconds, guys. I was just thawing the pork shoulder for tomorrow, and we're good to go now. Okay, we ready? So we also need about 2 to 3 tablespoons of really cold water. Let's get a little cup with that. And you will want to measure this out. You don't really want to fool around with your pie crust at all. Like, just follow the directions and everything should be great. Then it says about half a teaspoon of salt. So I'm not gonna grab the water until I think I need it. So first thing we're gonna do is just start to break up our butter into our flour. I just kind of squish it in between my fingers. If you have one though, you can use a pastry cutter to cut in the butter. But honestly, I just like working with my hands with this kind of stuff. I just find it's easier if you can kind of feel it rather than just looking at it. Like, I guess I just love playing with my food. Sorry, guys. So, Death, what are you going to make today? Or are you eating out? So now that it's a little bit more broken up, I'm just gonna kind of roll it in my palms with the flour. Is Mom excited for this meal? Yeah. So when I said I was gonna make it, she's like, but I can make that on Sundays. I was like, no. You need to start making things that you haven't made before, and I need to start practicing the things that you used to make for us to see how it stacks up. Like, I need to start learning these things too so I can carry them on. Yeah, exactly, but I was like, you already got this recipe down pat. I need to see if I can make it taste the same. Okay, that's looking good. So it's kind of just flaky and floury. Then all we're gonna do is pour in a little bit of water and then make it form a nice dough ball. Move over, Mom. Yeah. I'm all grown up. I can cook it on my own now. I think she did get me into cooking, but she always says that she wasn't really into it until like later on. When I was probably like 8 or 10 years old. Me and Posh are home alone today. But she keeps being such a baby when it's just me and her. I don't know why. Come here. Cold water is here. Just come here. Come here. Yeah, thank you. So I just pulled her bed up beside where I'm working, and hopefully that'll be good for her. So let's start with 2 tablespoons of cold water. See where we get. Start to kind of just crumple it together. I think I'll definitely need the 3rd. Start to kind of just pack that down. I think we might even need just a touch more. Like I said, this is another recipe that I've never used before, but it's always good to try a couple different recipes that you think you would like, and then kind of just choose the one that you thought worked really well for yourself. So all we're looking for here is no really dry bits left. So we're just gonna keep adding water until that starts to form. And we don't want to overwork this dough either, right? We still want to keep all those nice little flaky butter spots in there. We're just going to work it until it forms a nice round. I think we're there. Yeah, this is the tart crust, but like I said, you guys can just use like the tender flake crust from the store if you want. So I'm just gonna form it into the round, and doing this ahead of time is gonna help with rolling it out later. And then the crust won't really fall apart as much. I think that's good. So it's like a little bit flaky, but I don't want to put too much water in it. So for sure letting it rest is going to benefit the situation. And then like I said, while it rests, we can get a couple other things ready before we have to roll it back out. We're just going to cover this in plastic wrap and put it back in the fridge. I'll set a 20-minute timer and then see where we're at that point. Is Mom ever going to do a cooking stream? I mean, I would love for her to do it, but she like hates being in front of the camera. So I really don't know if I'll be able to talk her into it. All right, so next thing on the list. We're gonna get our pasta boiling pot set up. And then we are going to toast up our peanuts to put into the tart. Helicopter, hello. I know, I don't get why either. She is adorable. I always tell her that. I'm like, you don't have to be scared. But she just doesn't love it, guys. She's never liked cameras, though. Like, she's just one of those people that doesn't really know how to smile naturally. But it's okay. I know, exactly. And plus, we're so safe on the internet. It's like, if you don't like what someone's saying, just kick them out. That's the best part. Thanks, helicopter. Thanks, guys. Honestly, I used to hate how curly my hair was when I was younger. And now, just because of where I live on the West Coast, it's always so humid, so I just accept it the way that it is. But maybe one time I'll like straighten my hair, and just so you guys can see the difference. Okay, last thing to go in the boiling pot. We got all of our water in there. It's about 3/4 full. Just want to make it taste like the sea. So we just put our salt in. That way that's done. We don't have to worry about it anymore. So we're gonna toast up some nuts. We usually like to toast them at around 400 Fahrenheit. You don't want to go too much higher because then the outside is gonna burn before the inside even toasts up, and we don't want that. And then the amount of peanuts I'm putting in this recipe is not a lot. It's at about 25 grams. So let's see what that gives us and then go from there. Yeah, when I was like super little, guys, I had like a white blonde little afro. It was unreal. Everyone used to call me Fuzzhead. Okay, let's do 50 grams of peanuts. 25 was like nothing. It's like, this is where we're at. So like maybe 1/3 of a cup. I think that's enough. We don't want to overpower the tart, right? I know, it should be a good one. Wellness Wednesday, guys. This is a meal that's gonna make you feel good when you eat it. Except I'm pretty sure like every meal I make makes you feel like that after, but hey. So we're just gonna put those onto a sheet pan while the oven is heating, and then let's get together the rest of the ingredients for the tart. You don't like Brussels sprouts? You either love them or you hate them. There is like no in between for people, hey? Maybe if I cooked them for you, you would like them. Because I find that a lot of people that had like mushy, gross, like steamed Brussels sprouts in the past just will not touch them. And they have no idea what they're missing by not eating the roasted version. All right, so we are going to line our pie dish. And it actually says quiche dish, so a little bit different than a traditional pie. It's a little bit more shallow. So we're gonna use that one. And then we are gonna par bake our pastry. So about 20 minutes, and that's pretty good because we already have our oven heating up for the peanuts, so that works perfect for us by the time we have to roll out our dough. And then in a little saucepan, we have to melt some butter, sugar, syrup, and salt. And that's gonna be our binder for our cornflakes and our peanuts. It's like mustard and Vegemite. That's pretty true, Helicopter. I think you would like roasted. I really think you would. And let's use a pot big enough so that we can just mix the cornflakes in. It's only about 75 grams, so let's see what that ends up being and then see what kind of pot we need. We got a fresh box today, guys. Oh yeah. Jim, you made it. Just give away the dish. I'm sure Betty would be so pleased. It's always like a chore trying to break into the new cereal bag, isn't it? Like sometimes it rips open perfectly, and other times you just have to like savagely rip it. Good amount. I think that's about 2 cups worth. I'm good with that. Hi, Vyun. How is it going? Good to have you in here. As always. So this pot and that much cornflakes, we're good to go. It's raining super hard. Oh no. That's brutal, but... What? We got a new streamer in chat, guys. What are you gonna play, Vyun? What is gonna be your stream? Okay, 150 grams of golden syrup. The good stuff. This is what it looks like. Typically used in like butter tarts or pecan pies. Just really delicious sticky things. The ooey gooey ingredient. Adventure games, fun. Let's do this. Oh. We went over, guys. 2 grams over. Watch out, world. Why no Canadian golden syrup? I mean, I don't think maple syrup would work the same. I was thinking about that, or honey. But it's not as thick as this, so I don't want it to get all runny. I didn't want to mess with the recipe too much with it being my first time making it, so I'm keeping it simple today, Helicopter. Okay, next thing we need 25 grams of brown sugar, but I'm going to scoop that out first. Actually, you know what? We're not going to scoop it out. We're just going to scoop everything from in the bowl into the pot. Definitely going to have like a really nice deep sugar flavor, like almost caramel. Pretty excited to see how this ends up. 55 grams of butter. Boom. And I think I'm going to put a touch of vanilla into this as well, because why not? Put vanilla in all baked goods. And then just a pinch of salt, it says. Don't forget the salt. It gives really nice contrast to anything that's overly sweet. Probably do like a good couple of pinches, especially if we're putting in the peanuts. Salted peanuts winning. What we were waiting for. Okay, let's go over, guys. Go over to our stovetop, get this thing cooking down, and then we'll put our peanuts in. We're looking really good already. So you want to do that sugar mixture on a nice medium heat. Don't go too high because we don't want to burn it. And peanuts, let's start with 5-minute timer and then see where we end up. If you guys want, you can do a little halfer. So you can watch the ooey gooiness happen. Good. Okay, what else? Do I have to weigh anything else? So we're gonna need 100 grams of strawberry jam. And that's gonna be spread onto the tart when it comes out of the oven. So let's weigh that out as well, and then we're done. I think you could use raspberry jam too, and it would be just as delicious. But I think I love strawberry jam more than raspberry. Probably just because the seed aspect. But like fresh raspberries, I can snack on all day until I get a stomach ache. Ta-da! It's just gonna go back in the fridge. Oh yeah. Let's get our rolling pin out while we're waiting. You want to make something with chocolate mousse today. Mousses can be a little bit tricky, but they're pretty fun to play around with. And I mean, try it a couple of times and you'll for sure get the hang of it. Raise your dongers. Hi, onionies. How's your day going? Welcome, welcome. Shortbread with mousse? I know, Harry. What's been going on? I'm glad you're back, though. I mean, chocolate mousse is good just on its own, too, Death. If you just want to play around with it. What's up? We are just prepping up the cornflake tart to start off. Today's pizza was good. What? Jim had pizza, guys. It's a celebration. Okay, we are gonna need our flour still. Just for rolling out. I know, you have whipped cream, why not? Do you have gelatin though? Okay, that is nicely melted down. So let's just turn that off for now. Since we don't really have to use it yet, we're gonna mix the cornflakes in last, just so it doesn't get all sticky and hard before we have to put them into the tart. The power's flickering. Oh no, it's getting stormy. A cornflake shard. Oh my God. Oh, Matt. Oh, hey. Have I ever made chili? Yeah, I've made chili. That's something I should do on stream, for sure. I'd be down. 42 centimeter pizza? That's amazing, Jim. But what kind did you get, though? That's the important question here. The nuts, they're calling us. The newts. Oh, they smell good. You know what? I think that's perfect. So 6 minutes at 400 degrees. They're like nicely roasted, you can tell just by the coloring, and they're gonna continue cooking, right? So we don't want to get them too dark before we take them out, because nuts do hold a lot of heat on their own. So let's do 10 more minutes to rest the pie crust. And why don't we kind of just get out the ingredients for the salmon cure while we're waiting. You got pineapple? Yeah. What's my favorite curry? I would have to say a massaman curry, Harry. And I typically like to do it with beef. But I know that's not the Indian way, I know, but it just is so tasty. Really, but you like the Thai yellow. See, I would probably choose the Thai green. Yeah, exactly, Death. 1 more minute of toasting those nuts and they probably wouldn't have tasted so good. Okay, so the first day of our salmon curing, we need 2 large red beets and 2 lemons. So I'm gonna go grab those from the fridge outside and I'll be right back. Smelling so good in here already. Roasted nuts for the win. You haven't had green curry yet? What? Do I like Indian food? I love Indian food. Come here. Guys, Pasha's being a baby. She needs some love. Come here. How are you? Are you good? Yeah. It's true. Okay, she's gonna live another day. It's gonna be okay. Harry the Octo's here. Okay, what else do we need? We need 6 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt. So I've been using the fine to season. but I do have some coarse salt outside. Go grab that, and we will need, it says demerara sugar, which is just a dark brown sugar. And then a 1/4 cup of gin or vodka. We're getting saucy already. Sauce it up. What's the weirdest thing I've ever made? Probably cooking sweetbreads. Just because they are a gland and they do take like very close attention to prepare properly. So it's like little pieces of gland that is like attached to itself with like little stringy pieces. But you have to like peel all that stuff off, blanch it until it's cooked, and then eventually it does taste like chicken nuggets. Nim, glad you're in here. You cooked skirt steak for the first time the other night? What? Really, they didn't clean it properly? See, like, you're putting your faith into somebody that says they're a butcher. And that always makes me so upset when you get home and, like, they hide something underneath the meat where you can't see through the styrofoam part. You just, like, flip it over. You're like, really? Like, why are they tricking us like that? But I'm glad the first half of it was still good, Nim. Hey, Millie, what's going on? Okay, so let us peel these beets up. We have about 5 minutes. Let's see if we can crush this. They are pretty dirty today. Like, those are fresh. There's still dirt on there. So in other words, they butchered the meat. Yeah, exactly, Fiscal. 600-degree Fahrenheit cast iron. I'm sure that had such a nice crust on it. What do beets taste like? Good question, but I would say the texture is definitely similar to that of a carrot. And I guess the flavor is like a little bit more sweet and dark, like more of that antioxidant flavor that you would find in a blackberry or a raspberry. And then really, really earthy. I know some people usually say that they taste like dirt, but if you can look past that, they should taste sweet, especially if they're nice and fresh. Sloppy Joes. Oh my God, Harry. That's a good one. I don't even remember the last time I had that. Hey, Kylie. I have been on for 50 minutes, if you're looking for that. And we don't have a chat bot in here. So sorry you did not get what you were looking for there. Yeah, it would have like a tiny earthy aftertaste. That's true. Do I barbecue at all? I will be barbecuing a lot when we move. I definitely want to get a lot more knowledge on our charcoal grill that we have outside. My parents have a gas grill, which I might use, but probably not too often. And then the way that we're gonna have it set up, our entrance and the grill is closer to the kitchen in the other house, so it's good. We'll do lots of grilling streams in the summer, I think. Hey, Cookery, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Things are good. Just about to make up a cornflake tart for the first time ever. Yes, Nim. Yeah, my boyfriend like really loves Texas style barbecue, so he's really good at that already, and I need to start doing it with him a lot more. I mean, I love fire, so I don't know why that's like a scary thing to me. Like, I always think that I'm gonna get it like ripping hot and out of control, but I've watched him enough times that I really should not be scared anymore. Oh, you're making supper. What are you making? Just grabbing the food processor, guys. We're gonna need this for our salmon cure. You know, this one that we love so much. We have 1 minute left on our timer. So why don't we finish our pie crust off first, and then while it's baking, we can put together the cure for the salmon. Oh no, but okay, sounds good. Thanks for being here to start. I hope you keep your power throughout the rest of your night. Have you ever had Jack Daniel's sauce? Yeah, I've had a good whiskey sauce before. That's such a classic meal, Cookery. I love it. You can never go wrong with that. Okay, our pie crust. It's nice and firmed up now, not as squishy as before. Let's roll it out. You can see that there's like still butter swirls throughout it, which is exactly what we're looking for here. Bring our pie pan over. Get some flour down on the counter. Keep our oven at 400 Fahrenheit because we are going to par bake the pie crust. And then it only bakes again for about 5 minutes after we put the cornflake topping on. I'll just kind of set it up. Oh my God, Finster, you're here. That makes me happy. Marinated half of this steak in Jack Daniel's. That's deadly, Nim. Thanks, Cookery. Just get it nice and floured to start. How's the week been, Finster? Gonna try and roll this out as evenly as possible. You typically want to go to about 1/4 inch thickness on your pie crust. Let's just keep this floured so it doesn't stick at all. No tragedies today. So much overtime. I mean, most of our stuff, so salmonized stuff, is already packed up in the storage locker. And it's been like that since January, the beginning of the year. But Betty's started packing her stuff up already. I'm sure I'm going to start helping her pretty soon here. And then obviously when it gets closer to April 27th, I mean, I don't know how the streams are going to go, to be honest. But I'll keep you guys in the loop for sure. Obviously going to try to stream for as long as possible, right? And like I said, the move is not far. It's like literally 2 blocks away. So don't worry, guys. What are you talking about, you mortals? This is just a rolling pin. And you know what? It's not mine. It's Betty's, and I think she got it as a gift from someone. Obviously, mine is packed up, so let's go over to our pie plate. Get this set in there properly. Just gonna clear off the counter here. It's all floured up. And then we'll crimp our edges. Put some foil on it. And I think I have some dried beans to weigh it down. We also have to poke some holes into the bottom of the crust so it doesn't puff up too much. Okay, perfect. Our oven says I'm ready. Ready to bake this crust. Yeah, exactly, Millie. So that's what I'm gonna do, is try and go find some dried beans that I can put into the bottom of this for us to bake it and weigh it down. First though, let's crimp our edges. Yeah, Fiscal, we're staying in the same area. Just because it is really nice and quiet. So your crust should go high enough up. Like this is probably pushing it right here. If I need to though, probably just crimp a little piece of dough onto that part if we're really worried about it. And then the rest of it, just gonna take a knife and trim it off. Let's kind of just press it over the edges to start. Make sure it won't move. Just gonna take a knife and go around like that. Nim, thank you for the biddies, dude. Just streaming of us ordering food, I know. That's actually something I definitely look forward to when we're gonna have our own space, is actually doing like eating streams after we make it. I mean, obviously I won't be eating with you guys, so you can't taste the food, but that's like the whole part, is like cooking with people and sharing the food after you make it, right? Okay, that crust looks pretty good. Like I said, if you need to, you can kind of just sew it up wherever you think it needs it. But other than that, the edges look great. That's a nice crust, guys. And we don't actually have that much left over, so I'm pretty happy with that recipe. Stoked. If you don't have one of these pie plates though, you can just use a regular one. I don't think it matters too much here. It's true, Nim. Crushed him. What? Paella. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, let me go find some beans real quick. Cookery, thank you for the biddies. Sneaking those in while I went out. Success, guys. Got some beaners. I mean, it's not a lot, but it should be enough to just cover it. I know, biddies hype. We're getting started already. So just lightly kind of form that into our crust to begin with. I'm not going to forget to poke some holes in this either. Okay, that looks good. So just go about like an inch apart from each one. Poke little holes in there, and that's going to help it not puff up too much. It'll stay nice and flat. Let's pour in our beaners. Nim, seriously, dude, thank you so much. I'm not ready for all this love yet, guys. I haven't even done anything. Mia, I'm glad you approve. All eyes on me. Okay, so the beans are also gonna help the crust stay nice and flat. And then that's gonna go in the oven. It said for about 20 minutes. Gonna do a little par bake until it's lightly golden. We're well on our way. Let's do 15, just to be sure. I'll check it then, and then see where we're at. I might just take the foil off at that point and let it brown up a little bit further. So, on to our salmon cure now, while we're waiting. We got 15 minutes, guys. I know, Finster, all of the bits. The heck? Wellness Wednesday, guys. So, I need to peel some beets. I washed them up earlier. And let's get our board over here. It's time. The cooking is beginning. My beets are trying to run away. Okay, red fingers incoming. You thought of a recipe, Nim? I'm pumped. What's it gonna be? Wild Wednesdays, yes, Mia. See, Nim, I knew if I just asked you what you wanted, you would eventually come up with something. These beets honestly smell sweet already. Makes me just want to roast them up. So what's the recipe for the salmon? I can post it in chat for you, Millie, if you want. It is posted in Discord, which I'm sure most people have already seen. Just give me a sec for me to get my beet hands in order first, and then I'll post it for you. I mean, the good thing here is that we're just basically using the beets for color. And they're gonna make the salmon really nice and pink, like really, really vibrant. Fingers giveaway, guys. And you're not gonna get too much of the beet flavor into the salmon. My poor cutting board, it looks like there was a murder or something in here, hey? Vegetable. The murder. Hopefully I don't stain this cloth. And yes, using fresh beets is so worth the red fingers. Is this gonna come out though? Okay guys, we have a tie-dye cutting board now. I think when I chop the onions a little later though, it's gonna kind of bring out that color. We'll be okay. Pickled beets and onions are amazing. Presidential sushi roll. Okay, I'll write that down. And definitely we'll look it up afterwards. Never actually heard of that sushi roll. And I've eaten quite a bit of sushi, so I'm excited to check that out, Nim. Okay, beets are good. 2 lemons zested. So let's do those up. Guys, we have 9 minutes left on our crust. This is gonna give such nice fresh flavor in our salmon. How can you really go wrong with lemon and salmon? Hello, Kevin. Welcome to the squad. I know, the color is like amazing. Like, how could you not want to eat that? And if you're not huge with like the raw-ish salmon texture, I'm sure you could cook it up a little bit for yourself and it would be just as good. Okay, lemons have been zested. Fresh fingers, guys. Oh, thanks, Cookery. Okay, I'll try it after this. I do have a cut lemon in the fridge, I think. I think. Okay, so we're gonna blend the beets and the lemon zest until they become smooth, and then that's gonna get transferred into a different bowl where we're gonna mix in the rock salt, sugar, and either gin or vodka. Poke me salmon or poke? That's what you're thinking of making, Death? I think you'll really like that. Like, really like that. So before we start, let's measure out our dry ingredients. What's the most stained color that my hands have been, Finster? That's a good question. I don't think they've gotten like super stained. If anything, maybe just like that little bit under your fingernails. Oh, do this salmon on a poke bowl. That would be amazing. That'd be amazing, Death. So 6 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt. This is an interesting little box that we got going on here. But why would they fill the salt larger than, or like higher than this little spout thing? So it's just gonna fall out everywhere. I guess I'll store it like that. Seems a little silly. Okay, 6 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. That is true, Millie. Yeah, I've never been stained by like turmeric too much, but I do have a spoon from culinary school that I used to make curry. It's a blue plastic spoon that's still stained. A 7-year-old curry stain. Quite a bit of salt, hey guys? Like, that seems insane to me. But we are curing, so this is gonna help to also firm up the flesh and make it really nice and easy to slice it. Holy, Nim's getting stormy too. What, did you guys just get everything that we got the last 2 days? Yeah, salt is really good to use on cast irons to clean them. And same with cutting boards. That's crazy, Nim, that you have chainmail scrubber. Or are you just saying like the classic metal scrubby, not chainmail? Okay, lastly, our gin, a 1/4 cup. So I just gotta climb up a little bit. Grab that. It's 3 minutes on our crust, guys. Gordon's gin. London Dry. This guy right here. Yeah, that's true, Cookery. I've never really needed a chainmail. I guess I'm just like anal about my pans, probably. Can't help it though. It's a chef's thing. It's true. Yes, Guppy. The gin has come out. Watch out, world. Okay, dry goods are set. Oh, spring rolls, I know. Want some. Nim, gifting the sub to Cookery. Thank you so much. Welcome, Cookery. It's official now. She's part of the squad. Okay guys, 1 minute on our pie crust. Let me just fool around with this and get it set up. This thing needs like some good tough love, so don't mind me if I smash it around a bit. It has to happen. Aw, thanks, Kev. And Guppy. Thanks for the love, guys. So lemon and beets going in. Let's see if this thing works. Okay, that's gonna be crazy. I'm not gonna start it till after this crust. Hopefully we don't break it, guys. Yeah, it's CGI eyebrows. It's true. Holy smokes, this crust looks unreal. Let's see what we're working with. Have I asked the new owner of this place if I can use the kitchen for streaming? No, I haven't. And actually, there's a pretty good backstory is the people that bought this place, it's like an older couple and their daughter actually has MS. So the way that we have this house set up is it's really handy for people that are in wheelchairs. We never really thought about that, right? But everything's really nice and open. So that makes me happy that they found somewhere that they could live easily. Okay guys, so that's where we're looking at already. So a little bit of expansion on the sides, and we're gonna put this back into the oven for about 5 more minutes, and it should be great. I know, yeah, exactly, Mia. Super convenient. Makes me happy. Five minutes. Nim. It's okay. Finster's been saying that for the beginning. Don't get mad at him. It's what we tend to go with, because typically, like at least one person like Kevin comes in and like comments something about my eyebrows. Okay, we're gonna get a little rowdy over here with our food processor. Be good, KitchenAid. Yeah. Looking good. Go a little bit more. just looks savage with all the color from the beet. But it worked well. I really didn't know how this was gonna work. So let's take a look. I know they're a bit pronounced, but literally this is my eyebrow. Like, I can't change it. I'm not gonna make them different. Waiting for the smoke. No, Guppy. Okay, we went too far. We went a little too far. Okay, so this is what this looks like. It's like little pieces of beet, which I'm okay with. I think that's as smooth as we're gonna get it. Obviously, I guess I could put it into a blender if I was really anal about it, but I'm happy with how this turned out. So we're gonna scrape that into the other bowl and then stir this stuff up. And then that will be ready to go whenever the salmon comes home to us. And then we'll prep the rest of it. So basically all we're gonna do is cover up the salmon with this on both sides and then wrap it tightly in saran wrap, and it's just gonna sit in the fridge overnight. So typically for 24 hours. Getting a rinse on all this beet stuff here. Make it easier to clean later. Makeup white. Yeah, exactly, Mia. Like, honestly, what do they want? Oh, I'm sure your kitchen was smoky yesterday, Nim. I mean, I set the fire or the smoke detector off yesterday in the house. But the way that it's set up, like, it's right outside of the kitchen, which is so silly to me. So it just really makes it difficult to cook anything properly. And honestly, if I was to tell the truth, I'm just so used to, like, having fans on in the kitchen that I sometimes forget to even think about it and turn it higher. Because you can't turn the hood fans in a kitchen any higher. They're just like set at one good speed and that's it. Oh my god, Guppy. What kind of mixer is it? Nim, you don't want to request anything else? Or you just want someone to beat your chair? But we do have until Friday, Nim. So don't get them to overtake you. But I like the competition. I'm into it. There is some good competition in Twin Vader's chat this morning. Some biddies competition. Yeah, imagine putting this on as a face mask. Like, I don't even know. You probably look sunburnt after. Just dye your whole face red. So let's just put that into the fridge for now. It will be safe there. And get a check on our pie crust. She puffed up a bit. But it's not too bad. Probably just give that another little poke. So you can see how there's like a little bit of air bubble here. But I think it'll go down once this thing cools off. Ah, no more beets on the board. think we're good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So that was 20 minutes, guys. We're just gonna let that cool now. And oven can actually go off for now. And while this is cooling, we're gonna spoon on the strawberry jam so it kind of like melts into the crust. Kevin is asking, did I go to culinary school? I did. So 7 years ago, I did a 2-year program. Graduated with honors. Was definitely like such a nerd in my class. Did a cooking competition while I was in school. That was really fun. It's okay, Nim. I'm still gonna make your sushi roll. Because you didn't give me anything for last week when you were top cheer. So that I'll have to make that up to you. I just like to do that. I'm not asking for anything in return either. Death. Do I ever worry about parasites in raw fish? I do. I mean, I think I've found probably 3 little worms now in various fish that I've eaten in like the last couple of years. Like, it doesn't happen very often. But typically, I mean, this is just how I like to eat my fish, is I just like flake it off a little bit at a time. And usually you don't get many parasites in like salmon or anything like that, but bottom feeders are definitely more prone to that. So your halibut, I know even though it's expensive, it can still have worms in it and stuff. And then those worms will kind of just be closer to the skin side. They're not going to be like all the way inside of the flesh. So if you want, you could even just like flip it over and go through it. I don't know. Maybe I've eaten a worm and I didn't even know, right? And I'm not sure if you can really get sick from that if you eat it. WMF is the German brand mixer. I'm going to Google that up real quick. Guppy, next topic. That's an interesting one. Yeah, never even heard of that brand. But you say it lasts. It's so true, Nim. No problem, Death. Happy to have any moms in here. Love them all. I know, that's what chefs are. Is like, just racing against time to make as much amazing food as possible for people. And typically, it's very hard to stay consistent for people when they get busy, right? Is they'll either lack on their plating or they'll forget to season it properly, which honestly sucks because you're paying them to do their job properly, right? I am using a Logitech C920 for my overhead. Finster, you want music? I mean, I do have some pretty good no copyright. I have a little playlist. But yeah, I haven't really got into the local musician gig at all. Chicken grease, Vegeta? We haven't even started the chicken yet. So next thing we have to do, let's heat up our golden syrup mixture and butter. And then all we have to do is mix in our cornflakes and our peanuts. I mean, I did do a lot of music when I first started, just to kind of fill that blank space when we didn't have a lot of viewers in here, but now that there's typically 20 of us, I don't hugely see the need for music. I know I asked you guys before what you thought, and you said it's fine having it off. But by all means, if you want music one day, just let me know, and I can throw it on. I'm used to cooking with music all the time. That's like the one thing in the kitchen that keeps us going if it is really busy. Just get a good beat on and you don't really worry about anything else that's going on. I'm gonna put this food processor away while we're waiting. And then it's time to make some cacciatore. So excited. Food Network has sucked for 10 years now. This channel is the new food channel. Honestly, I'm thinking about like emailing some of the magazines and stuff that do little like cooking snippets online on Facebook and stuff that you see. I'd love to go to the Bon Appetit test kitchen and do something there. Even if I had to like pay my own way, I'd be so down. But with Ninja being on the news, I think it was last week, I think that streaming is going to start to get a lot more popular than it is right now. Which can either be good or bad for us, right? Okay, this is almost smooth again. Literally just smells like caramel. And this just looks too good sitting here in front of me. And then the last thing in the recipe, it says to bake it for about 5 minutes after you put everything into the pie pan, and then serve it warm. But obviously we're not eating this before dinner, so I'm gonna do that later on. And it can just sit out at room temp. We don't have to put it in the fridge or anything like that. Okay, that's boiling. And then one little thing, I could not find too much history on cornflake tart, so Mia, if you're still in here, tell me if this is right. But this is typically something that was served in like school cafeterias in the UK. And they used to call them school dinners. So they're pretty much a recipe from a lunch lady. From like way back when. Yeah, exactly, Nim. We're not going to get into the YouTube thing just yet. Okay, shall we carry on here? Oh, Matt, you're still sharding? Might need a peanut snack. Gotta test it out. It's true, Mia? That's amazing. Okay, cornflakes are going in. Yum. Peanuts are going in. Mix this up until it gets all gooey. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think I would be so happy if we got this at school in the cafeteria. Like, you would never see this here. I honestly don't even know if there was like any homemade sweets in any cafeterias where I went to school. I think they just had vending machines for that instead. This smells amazing. I would love to try it with maple syrup too. So it's literally just like soaking up all of the sugary, buttery goodness. Sounds good, cookery. Hope your dinner is delicious. And maybe catch you tomorrow. Have a good one. Oh my God. It's not right. More butter, Finster. So all we're gonna do is kind of just press this down into it. I'm so pumped about the addition of peanuts, honestly. And then this is just gonna set up nicely. And then we'll slice it later on. Obviously do a little taste test before dinner. Checking if this is still hot. And it is. Yum. That sheen though. Hey, tart is chillin'. I don't know about you, but I think I would add a little bit more salt on top still. But I'll taste it first later on, and then add probably some really nice flake salt if it's needed. All right, now that that's done, let's get to searing our chicken. Trump, just give it to you. Stuff it in your face. Chicken's coming out. So you'll want quite a large pan for this. No more salt. I know, Mia, it'd be so good with custard. Think of the water retention. I'm not concerned about that right now, Trump. You can't think about those things when you're eating cornflake tart. I think I'm gonna use my brazier. Should be large enough. Maybe not though. I'm gonna do a little pan comparison right now. We gotta turn off the nagging. These are probably gonna be the exact same size, aren't they? Yep. Now we know. Cast iron it is. Hey guys, we're gonna do a little cam switch up here. Did you want to go to jail? Watch out, he has the powers. Watch out, world. So first things first, we have to season up our chicken and also dry it off if it's for some reason a little bit watery. Yeah, didn't you know salt overdose is a felony now? New law just came out. The reason we're drying off our chicken is to get a really nice sear on there. So if it's ever wet, it's almost gonna boil or steam instead of fry that skin. So just be mindful of that when you're prepping it. Six chicken leggies. Good to go. Chef de party, hello. Welcome, and thank you for the host as well. How's it going? Just saw that I missed a couple follows here. Hitchbots with the follow, welcome. Dr. Spin. Welcome all. So simple here, salt and pepper to start. The chicken legs in the US look abnormal. I mean, I did cut these myself off of a whole chicken. They're quite large though. It's going, chef. You just got home from work. Are you an actual chef? You were chefing it up today? Get a good layer of salt on the presentation side here. It'll help get that nice crust on there and render out the fat. So it's going to draw the moisture out. Chef de partie, aka Arpatra, pro boy. What? Uncle Stinky, good to see you. I think we got a jam in our peppercorn grinder. Season up. You know what? It's getting a little warm in here, so I'm just gonna open a window. Get some fresh airs in. Camera switch is happening. And let's get this pan on. So medium-high heat here. We're gonna start with vegetable oil, not olive oil. That way we won't get any bitter flavor when we're searing our chicken at a high heat. So let's let that heat up. Chicken can go away for now. So next thing up, we can start prepping our veg for the sauce. So 1 onion, a couple baby bell peppers, and some carrots. And I'm gonna do probably a couple cloves of garlic as well. So nice sweet peppers. Another good addition would be mushrooms, either canned or fresh. It's really up to you. Like I explained earlier, there's so many different variations of this dish. You can kind of put in whatever you want. And I think that's the good part. It's nice to have freedom in recipes, because after all, they are just a guideline. Gotta stimulate your creativity. Get that pan nicely coated. That sheen though, going down. Sounds good, Vune. Have a great day. Hope to see you around. So our onion, we are going to small dice this. Which means we're also going to small dice the rest of our veg. But you know what? At the same time, the peppers are gonna cook quite fast, so we can leave those more bite-sized than a small dice. The pan is almost ready, my friends. Probably gonna need a splash guard for this. Everyone ready for this? I'm gonna start the sizzles. Chef de partie, you're pro. I don't know why I haven't seen you here. I'm gonna open up your page and check you out later on. I know, just for you, Finster. Sizzling time. So oil is just starting to smoke. I'm just gonna turn this up a little bit. I'm gonna leave that on 3, guys. I'm 27, Kevin. So about 4 minutes per side for the chicken. So we'll let that go while we chop our onion. So starting on this end, we are going to follow the natural fiber lines in our onion. If I hold this up closer, you should be able to see them. Hi. And also follow the natural shape of the onion. Flip it over when it starts to fall. And then we'll just do nice thin slices this way. Yeah, those are looking so good. Perfection. So we're just trying to keep our onion consistent size so that it cooks consistently. Really important. Leave those off to the side and then we'll mince them up later on. We're gonna do the peppers next, but let's take a look here at our chicken legs. Should be browning up nicely. You can go a little bit more here. That looks amazing though. Okay, so peppers, processing them really easily. I just like to cut either 4 or 5 cuts along the side of the pepper, along the seeds, and then just cut off whatever you have left over. And you should end up with something that looks like this, and it just kind of holds all the seeds together. I find this is one of the cleanest ways to prep peppers. Obviously you will get a little bit of seeds in there. And if that happens, just tap them out onto your board and then carry on with the rest. You guys hear that popping? That's exactly why I have the splash guard on. I don't want that going on the floor or onto my face even, because I've had that happen before. Not that fun. So let's get a little flip here. Looking amazing. Perfect coloring. And then cover that again. And then, like I said, that's going to go onto a plate. And just so we all know, the salmon has arrived, so we can put the cure on it whenever we get time here. We don't want to go more than 24 hours with that cure on the salmon. So just be mindful of when you're able to prep it the next day as well, so that it doesn't sit longer than it needs to. And then the rest of the peppers, we're just going to cut down into nice little cubes. For the side of the chicken leg, we're just going to prop it up in the pan. So use the side of the pan, rest it against it. Then you should be able to brown that part up. So we'll go with something about that thickness. So probably about double to triple the size of the onions. Sounds good, Nim. Mexican cornbread with sausage, that sounds so good. I wish you luck in your cooking endeavor. Hope everything goes well. And hopefully see you tomorrow, dude. Tomorrow's gonna be a good one. We're gonna make like one of my favorite sandwiches. Check our chicken. Yum. that onto the plate. Holy, that coloring though. So next 3 are going in. Is why we have this splash screen on, guys. Popping is something that we don't want on us. Yeah, record it so you can start practicing, Nim. Sounds good, dude. You have a great night. What are you panting for? It's doggo's feeding time, everyone. Getting wild. We're gonna keep our peppers separate from the onion right now. So we're gonna kind of brown up our onion first before we do the rest of the veg with it. So keep our little compartments separate on the board. And we're definitely building up some really good flavor in the bottom of our pan right now. Like all of that chicken fat that's getting cooked into there is gonna make this dish amazing. I did get a little grease splash on me, not gonna lie, guys. So be careful. No pain, no gain. Okay, let's get a check. See where we're at. Yep. Now I just want to make fried chicken. Guys, are we chilling? Everyone's just being quiet and watching. Getting colorful. It's looking good. Okay, the peeler. Carrot time. I know, it actually is a little bit strange. that it's quiet, but I'm never complaining about that. Quiet days are nice sometimes, Fiscal, because it can get a little bit wild, as I'm sure you've noticed at some points. Okay, let's check this. Getting there. That's looking good, so let's flick this guy up on its side. If it will stay. Same with that one. Couple more minutes on the other guy there. Yeah, I know you're still here. It's all good. So carrots will do the same size as the peppers. Doggo says yes, please. Her favorite. Are you ready? Okay, be nice. Be nice. Good girl. She loves it. I'm just gonna give a wash on my hands now. No doggo cooties in the cacciatore. Yum. Nothing like some good fried chicken. That chicken skin though, guys. I don't know if we're ready. So we're gonna cut the larger carrot pieces in half again so that they match these other ones that are a bit smaller. Okay. Betty has requested some carrot as well for her hummus snack. I don't know if you guys were in here when I made hummus the other day. Is that enough? All right, guys. Get that last piece of chicken out of there. Turn down the heat a little bit. Turn that guy down, and onions are gonna go in, and then I'm just gonna finish cutting the carrots. And be careful because it might splash a bit again. Handy dandy wooden spoon time. Give those a stir. Those are going to start cooking down. Definitely not splashing anymore, so we're good to go with our screen. Now we just get to watch the onions start cooking. And this is the beginning of our sauce. So all of these veggies are going to start to soak up all of the wonderful chicken bits that are stuck on the bottom of the pan. And that's what's gonna give us the really good flavor. Then we just need to grab our garlic press out. And we're pretty much good to go on this stuff. Stir this up again. And then, like I said, we're gonna let the onions caramelize just a little bit before we add in the peppers and the carrots. While we're waiting, let's open our can of tomatoes. I'm using diced tomatoes, and I'm not just gonna strain any of the juice out either. Like so. Those can just chill on the side until we need to pour them into the sauce. And then also get our wine ready. And next thing up, guys, the sprouts. So I have 4 pounds here. Quite a bit, I know. But like I always say, we're making leftovers. And we'll need 2 sheet pans for these. And it's 4:40 right now, so I think we're still on par for timing wise. Shouldn't take me more than like 10 to 15 minutes to clean all of these Brussels sprouts. The onions are coming along nicely. Just turning up the heat a touch. And I'm probably about 5 more minutes on there. I know, Fiscal. Yum. And these are actually really nice looking. I love how the bag says limited edition. Limited edition Brussels sprouts. You'll never find these anywhere else. So all I do to clean mine is cut off the end and then cut it in half. And then kind of whatever leaves fall off, just let them fall off. Unless they're like really yellow or brown, then you should pick it off. And then obviously they're gonna cook faster when we cut them in half. And then it's also gonna give us more surface area for them to brown up, which is key here when we're gonna roast them. I haven't had sprouts in a good couple months, I think, actually. Pretty pumped to make these. So I typically do like a good handful at one time. And then carry on. It's just easier to deal with it that way. And I'm just gonna grab a bowl to put these into. After they're cleaned off. Which is just gonna sit right in front of me here. Yeah, sprouts for the win. Yes, Finster. Onions are almost there, guys. Getting that nice slow cook on them. My burner is at level 4 right now for settings. And any kind of loose leaves like this that are still clean, feel free to throw them in because they will crisp up really nicely in the oven still. As long as they're not like sandy or molding, just throw everything in there. So obviously that piece I'm gonna pick off. These are actually some of the nicest Brussels sprouts I've worked with. They're all kind of consistently the same size, so you don't have to worry about some of them overcooking or undercooking. And they're not sandy at all, so I don't have to worry about chewing down on that. Are we gonna have a garden, Finn? We are. How much space are we doing? What did we say?
3, 12 by 4. At least 3.
So we're gonna have 3 12-foot by 4-foot kind of raised garden boxes that my dad is gonna have to build at the other house, but that's the plan. And it's actually gonna sit right outside of my kitchen window, which is kind of perfect for me. Mike Hawk, hello. Welcome, sir. Just getting into some Brussels sprouts over here. Give our onions a stir up. Okay, a couple more minutes, guys, and then we're gonna finish the sauce. The food looks great. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. I always take lots of care in what I prepare. So other things that we're gonna need for the sauce is 3/4 of a cup of white wine. You can choose whatever you want here. I don't think it matters too much if it's sweet or dry. It's up to you. I think sweet wine goes really nice with diced tomatoes, so that's just me. It says 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth or veg broth, so whatever you want there. 3 tablespoons of capers, and then 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano. I'm gonna get the oregano out and the capers. Yeah, for garnish. Oh, actually, maybe not. And we were supposed to use basil for garnish, but it's turning brown. So I think I'm just gonna put it into the sauce instead. Typically you don't use brown basil on a garnish, so I think I'll just go out and pick some more fresh chives today for garnish instead. What is this? Finster? Just some basil. Oh, I know, Finn. I've seen a little bunny in our yard before. But actually, we need to protect from rats more than anything. Our yard is fenced off, so the deer should not be able to get back there. Luckily. Your name is Joe, not actually Mike. Jim. He says, what? Getting a measuring cup out. And I think the wine is gonna go in, guys. Our onions are looking fab. Gonna do a little deglaze action here. Three-quarters of a cup of wine. Yum. And then we're gonna let this reduce by half. So we're gonna cook down the wine a little bit, which is actually perfect because that gives us time to prep our chicken broth. This is what I'm using today. Good old Bovril, and this is a liquid one. Oh, it's so true, Finn. Like literally cat-sized rats. Good old BC. You know how it is. I know this. Just pouring some hot water right now for our broth. We need 3/4 of a cup. So you don't want to make our broth too strong here because it will end up just making our sauce too salty in the end because it's going to reduce a bit. So let's go lighter on the broth and then we'll add more salt later on if we need. I think that's perfect. So as the wine is reducing, Francois is the man. It's true. Let's finish up our sprouts so that we can cut our basil. And you know what, guys? Typically, I would have liked to add the peppers and carrots into the pan before I put the wine in. But I'm going to be honest, I forgot to do that, but it's going to be okay. Still going to get all those nice, fresh veggie flavors in there. And we weren't really going to caramelize the carrot and pepper anyways. So let's not worry about it too much. The important part was caramelizing the onion and getting that sweetness into the sauce. Another food that doggo likes, sprouts. I just dropped a couple leaves and she just ate them up. Typically she would not eat like anything lettucey. But obviously it tastes like cabbage, so she's in. Dogs like everything. I think so, Jim. Okay, wine is looking good. Let's add in our carrots and peppers now. And then we'll add in our canned tomatoes. Let's not forget about mincing our garlic into there. And we're well on our way. And then the chicken, to finish cooking it in the sauce later on, should take about 20 minutes. You'll have to adjust that time if you're using breasts or just thighs as well, so keep that in mind. This is just a container of sauce that I had left over in the fridge. It's just blended diced tomatoes with a little bit of basil, so not gonna hurt us here. Try and reuse as much stuff as possible. In goes the stock. In goes our other tomatoes. And then a touch of capers. So I know it said 3 tablespoons, but to me, I think that's a little excessive. So we're not gonna listen to Jada this one time. Let's do like 2 tablespoons max. Throwing stuff around.
Yeah.
And then 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano. Give this a stir, and then we're gonna let it cook down. Probably simmer that for about 20 minutes. Okay, garlic as well. Do not forget. And then once I get this board cleared off, I'll chop up the basil real quick, and then we'll stir both of those things in. Okay, let's get to picking. I'm sure you guys can tell that I've cleaned just a couple of these in my career. It's like one of the most mundane tasks, but if you can do this quickly, then it means you're all right. Repetition is key to get good at anything, really. Ooh, look at that surprise we found in that one. No, thank you. No, thank you. Hush. Hush. Okay, sit. Nice. We got it, guys. Hole in one. And then, like I said, if you want some extra crispy pieces, throw in a couple of the leaves that are nice and clean. It's so exciting. Okay, basil time. Let's pick through this sadness that we have come upon. Obviously, the really black leaves, let's not use. But if it's like half gone, that's okay. I mean, it's just getting cooked down into a sauce anyways, so let's try and use as much of this as we can. Typically, if your basil gets bruised like this, it just means that your fridge is a little bit too cold. So try and store it in the crisper or somewhere like that if you can.
Only 20 minutes ago.
And guess what, guys? I'm going to the farm tomorrow. First day. It's happening. Have no idea what I'm going to be doing. Just helping out with whatever I can. Okay, so like always, I'm gonna build my little basil roll. And we're gonna chop it fine. I know, yay farm. I'll try and at least take some videos tomorrow and then post them in Discord. Or even just on my channel page for you guys to see. But I'm definitely not going to be able to stream from there tomorrow. And honestly, I don't even know if there's cell service out there that's good enough to be able to do that, so I'll see. Is it my job? I'm just volunteering, Jim. And then the benefit that I get from that is we get to take home whatever we kind of harvest that day. Obviously not mass amounts of food, but it's still better than nothing. And that way I'll learn a bit more as well. I'm just doing it for 3 hours a day. So from 9 a.m. to noon. And then obviously I'll come home and stream and tell you how it went. Now that's smelling good. Let's bring that up to a simmer. I know, I thought it was pretty cool. It's only like 20 minutes away from our house. And then the drive out is so nice. On like one of the most fun hilly and curvy roads to drive on. And typically not many people drive on the road that I take. Hey, Posh. Today's your carb up day. What did you eat so far? Those are like always the best days, hey? It just feels so good. Polish is high on food. All right, we're simmering. We're just gonna reduce the sauce a little bit before we put the chicken in to finish. Once again, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Linguine with a homemade bolognese sauce. That sounds really good. Yeah, pasta is great to refuel off of. All of the energy. Just enough meat to say there's meat. That's hilarious. Well, at least you repurposed it into something better. Jim, every day is carbs day. Does that mean you're done with the diet? You said screw it. I know. See? Some people come in and say, ew, Brussels sprouts. But most of you guys today have said, yes, Brussels sprouts. Oh yeah, you're still sick. Brutal. That's great, Polish. I mean, even just doing something as simple as repurposing a sauce still is like making you be creative, right? It's where you gotta start. Okay, last little bit of Brussels sprouts. Then we're gonna dress them up, get them onto trays, and then we are gonna cook off our pasta next, I think. Exactly, Jim. Everything in moderation. That's what I say. I mean, you don't have to go to extremes to lose weight or be happy. But I guess some people do need to be really strict with themselves in that way, right? I always think the easiest way is to just write down what you eat and keep track of it. And that way you're just a little bit more mindful about what you're gonna snack on. Don't even feel bad about it. Like, I had a burger on Sunday. It was amazing. And haven't been to the gym in like a month now, I think. Put on a little weight, but that's okay. Nothing that I am concerned about. Beef and barley burgers. That sounds really filling, Polish. It's a good idea. Yeah, exactly. The only way I usually tell is when my jeans and stuff start to feel tighter. And then it's like, oh. Gotta start paying more attention. Because, yeah, if you live your life in, like, stretchy clothing, you'll never tell if you gain weight or not. It'll trick ya. That much Brussels sprouts would cost $40 for you, Polish? Oh, man.
What?
I think we maybe paid $5 a bag.
Where is he?
He's in Labrador.
$40.
That's nuts, Polish. Do you guys not have a Costco up there? Starting to smell the basil come out in that sauce. Now that it's got like a little touch of heat on it. Okay, I'm gonna dress these on the pans. Just so we don't really lose too much oil into the bowl. Holy smokes, no Costco and no Walmart for 6 hours. Yeah, you're pretty isolated there, bud.
Super slow.
Well, just by the way that you talk about your food, I can tell that you still cook really well, even though you don't have access to everything. That's a really good challenge. I know most people would be lost without like a grocery store about half an hour from their house. Yeah, that's surprising that they don't have a Costco there, hey? I'm sure everyone would make good use of it. Like, we only have one on the island or two?
That's debatable.
Yeah, cooking in bulk will always help you out with that as well. It's always cheaper to buy stuff in bulk, right? Just giving this a stir to make sure it's not really sticking on the bottom. Just because our tomatoes are quite sweet. We want one even layer of sprouts on our pan. And that way they will roast up proper. Spread them out just like that. A local co-op type thing. Craziness. So, were you born there, Polish? Or do you just live there because of work? Okay, that's looking good, guys. So we're gonna use just a touch of olive oil. And then the chili garlic oil that I typically use is what's going on here. It's definitely a different lifestyle, dude. Kudos. So one thing about Brussels sprouts, you will need quite a bit of fat for them to roast up really nicely. So don't skimp here. I mean, keep in mind I am making enough for about 8 portions. Guys, we're halfway done the bottle. Oh noes. Impossible. This looks like a feast. What is the occasion? There is no occasion. I kind of cook like this every night. I usually make about 8 portions because there's 4 of us that I feed every night. And then that way we have enough for lunch the next day. Kind of like a good meal prep type of thing going on. Getting a good amount of salt here on our sprouts to start. Is there any way I could feed you? I get asked that so often. I really wish there was. I mean, unless you live somewhere on Vancouver Island, I don't think it's possible, sadly. Still waiting for that food teleportation device. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use the squeeze bottle for the olive oil as well, just so I can control the amount a little bit more. It's coming, I know. Soon, hopefully. Okay, now the smell coming out of the cacciatore is more of like the pepper smell. All expenses paid airfare. I know, hey Finn. It's all we need. Let's give these a good toss. Get them nicely coated in the oil. And then just press them back out so that we have the one even layer again. It's true, Finster. Yeah. Come visit me for a week and I'll cook for you. I mean, I would be down to like start a retreat style kind of thing going on. Cook for you and take you on a West Coast adventure. Yeah, she came home a little while ago, guys. So that's the good news is she brought the salmon. So once we turn our pot on to boil, I think that's what we're gonna do is spread the cure onto the salmon. And then around 5:30, I'm gonna drop the chicken into the sauce, so about 15 more minutes. And then same with putting the sprouts into the oven. It'll probably take about 25 minutes to half an hour. Let's turn our pot on. This burner is always a little bit funny. Just like lacking in air, I think.
Can I help?
I can't do it.
Can I help? No. Can I help? Oh. Usually, there you go.
It's wild, guys. Needed help from Betty. So this water is already salted as well. Keep that in mind. Let's get one more stir to see how our sauce is cooking. for baking the pie crust.
Oh, you want me to put them back in here?
Yeah. It's reducing nicely. You can tell there's a lot less liquid kind of pooling on top there. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the salmon. So the recipe I'm using is for 800 grams of salmon. So this is just over a kilo. I think we'll still have enough here though to fully cover it. Yum. Yeah, Polish, it was nice having you in here, and chat's not super crazy today, so it's good to have a little chat with you. Have a great night, dude. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Making some amazing sandwiches up. So we need some saran wrap. And you know what? This is clean.
Okay. Okay, I'll just wipe it.
And we're gonna use a sheet pan to keep the salmon on in the fridge. Makes sense, right? We don't want any of those liquids creeping out onto the shelves and making a mess, especially not when it's beet colored. Are there any bridges to Vancouver Island? There are not, but you can take a ferry or you can take a plane as well across. Are you coming from the US or from Canada? It's super nice. Impossible, like it's really peaceful out here. I've enjoyed it a lot so far compared to Vancouver. I've only been living here for about 2 months now. So far, so good. You're in New York. Wow, that's nice. Never been, definitely want to go. Okay, here is our cure. We're just gonna mix it up because there is a little bit of liquid in the bottom there. So beets, lemon zest, brown sugar, a good amount of salt, and a little bit of gin. That's it.
It sits overnight.
Yeah, it sits overnight. So let's get the bottom layer down. So you want to coat the fish on all sides. Spread that out a bit. And then because we're gonna wrap this tight, it's gonna help with just creating a nice even coloring everywhere with the cure. So you want as little air as possible in it when it cures overnight. Did I make the cornflake tart? I did, so if you want, you can have a peek at it. It's just been sitting out to cool. And then I added peanuts in it, so kind of like a PB&J style. Salmon smells super fresh, actually. This belly part, though. We are gonna do some massaging. It's so shiny, Finn, I know, hey? Let's pour the cure on top. And then see how much we have left over to go back onto the bottom. You know what? I'm just gonna use my hands. I'm gonna wash them right after anyway, so not super concerned about them staying purple.
Do you want some books?
Yeah, just a little bit of sugar in that tart, hey? Sugar and butter makes everything better. So you can already see how the beets are coloring the salmon flesh like right away. Definitely one of my favorite cures to put onto a salmon. Just checking underneath to make sure that it's all spread out properly. We don't want the coloring to be uneven, right? I mean, then again, we are going to be slicing it, so it shouldn't matter too much. Just if you're going to present it kind of as a whole fillet, you want it to be as even as possible. So 5 minutes to 5:30. I'm gonna turn the oven on to 400 Fahrenheit on convect. So we have 2 trays going in. Do I have recipes published? I do in Possible. So on my channel page, if you go check that out, there is a Discord link to the server that I created. And all of my recipes are there in a separate section. And they are published in PDF, so really easy for you guys to print out and use at home. I am just getting a bottle of water real quick. So any recipes that are published with the Cook with Kate are all my own. And then whatever ones are a website link are obviously not mine, but sometimes I do tweak them a little bit anyways. Just so you know. Right, so we're going to attempt to wrap this up, not make a mess. We'll start with all the edges, and I'll probably just put a piece of saran over the top. But like I said, we want it nice and tight. So as little air as possible. So let's just press this down. That looks good to me. So look at the bottom there, guys. So dark and purple already. So a little bit bleeding out. Just gonna wash that off and then I'll put one more wrap over top. And that's why we have it on a tray. No fridge messes with this stuff. There we go, guys. That's where we're at. So that's going into the fridge, and we will check it tomorrow. Right, we're almost there, guys. We are almost there. Let's check our water. Not quite boiling yet. That is all good. Oven should be almost there. Let's give this one more stir just to make sure it's not burning on the bottom. Why don't we give this a taste? It's about that time. Obviously, we want our carrots and peppers to be nice and tender by this point. It kind of tastes like an Italian jambalaya, sans meat. Just because the peppers, but I like it. I don't think I've ever done peppers in it. I don't think you ever did peppers, or you did. But I think I like the mushrooms better still. It does need just a touch of salt, so we can add that now. As well as some pepper. Then you know what, guys? I think it's time to nestle in our chicken legs and get those cooking. We'll definitely have some that will be almost submerged. And some that will stick out, so. Should be able to fit all of them in here. Pushing those limits. Oh yeah. Happy with that. Pour in whatever chicken juices were left on the plate. And that is happiness. You have 18 minutes before you need to go check the oven. So I just put the chicken into the sauce. It's gonna cook for about 20 minutes. So it's 5:30 now. So we'll check it when we're about 10 minutes out. Gonna do a little wipe up of our chicken frying station. Got a little wild today, guys. Yahtzee! You would give free rent in your extra bedroom? That's nutso. That's amazing. I know, hey? I mean, it would be worth it. If you have money but no time to cook, it's definitely worth it to get your own little chef to take care of you. So much better than just going out to eat, and sometimes it's by yourself, right? That sounds so good, Nim. I love cornbread. Just gonna take a little vid right now while we have time of our bubbling cauldron of sauce. Post it later for us. Yum. It's happiness. That's what you want. I'm sure that's what a lot of people do, though. I would. Hey, pasta is boiling. So we need 6 cups of pasta in the pot, and that should make 8 servings, it said. Where do you post cooking pics? Nim, are you in Discord with us? Because you should get in there. And then if you want, you can either post them just on the onions chat or in the recipe section. It's really up to you. I'm not super picky about what happens in there. Just as long as we're all together. Good old penne rigate from a box. This is only the second time on stream that I've made pasta from a box. Hilarious. Yeah, might get fired, guys. Taking the easy way out. Okay, perfect timing on our oven. Yeah, you can post pics in there. I believe there's just a little plus sign down at the bottom where you can add a link or a photo, or really whatever you want. Okay, sprouts are going in, guys. And let's do 12-minute timer, and we'll do a little tray rotation at that time, so that's about halfway. And for now, let's cook our pasta up. 6 cups in. Give it a little stir. So there was about 4 cups of pasta in each box, if you guys want to know. And this actually says it is imported from Italy. So that's interesting. It says 9 to 11 minutes for cooking time, but typically pasta cooks within like 8. So you want it al dente. Sounds good, Nim. I'll be here. Good luck with your meal. So just stir this every couple of minutes at the start, and then once it comes back up to a boil, you shouldn't have to watch it as much. And I'm gonna just cover that pot for the first bit so it does come up to a boil a little bit quicker. And while we're waiting, I'm gonna pop out and pick a couple of fresh chives to garnish the meal with. So I'll be right back. Birds are so crazy outside right now. They're so happy. Love the sound. They're just singing away. Alright guys, fresh picked chives once again. Obviously it's not very much, but they grow like weeds, so don't be afraid to chop off quite a bit. I just took out the strainer for our pasta for when it's done. And I will be right back. Okay, we're here. Hello, Joel. Welcome to the stream. Did you pop in yesterday when I was just finishing? Okay, our water is boiling again. Looking good. Yeah, you're good. We'll do a little cleanup right now while we wait. Good Easter. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully see you again. Happy Easter as well. Guys, check out the creme fraiche now. It's like even soupier. It's gonna be so good by Friday when we go to use it. Literally just whipping cream and buttermilk left to sit out, and we're making sour cream from scratch. Couple more minutes on the noodles. So let's get a chop on our garnish while we have time. We're gonna go for a nice fine chop here. It's for presentation, so we want to take lots of care. Obviously, just do the best that you can. There's a couple long pieces, you can pick them out and either re-chop them or just put them in the compost. If we're gonna be picky. Which, if you know me, we are. Let's just put those over to the side of our board for later. So that's ready to go. And let's get another taste on our sauce. And then I'm probably gonna tempt the chicken. Mm-hmm. Really nice flavor now. You definitely get that chicken flavor. Test our pasta to see how far out we are. There's some Brussels sprouts. Yeah, we're making fart nuggets today.
It's pretty stinky in here.
Fart nuggets.
Can you turn up the fan a notch, please?
About a minute or two more on the pasta, guys. And then handy dandy digital thermometer. I'm gonna go, just watching the camera, I'm gonna go kind of in the middle of the chicken leg where the bone is. That's like the longest piece to cook. We're at about 95 on that big one. Let's check that guy. One's 13. So we're getting there. We're gonna bring them up to about 150 Fahrenheit. So a little bit more to go. But that makes sense because it's only kind of 15 minutes in. One minute left on the sprouts, so I will be taking those out and giving them a little toss around to make sure that they're browning up nice. And then also switching the top tray in the oven to the bottom tray and vice versa. No wine today, guys. We'll have wine tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. It'll be a thing. One more try on the pasta here before our timer goes off. The dog is getting the motorbiker. No. Pasta's perfect, guys. So let's strain this now before we do our Brussels sprouts so it doesn't overcook. Then we're going to put it back into the pot. And just toss it around with some olive oil. Happen, stupid neighbor. And this is just going to help it from not sticking while we keep it warm in here. So just make sure it's nicely covered. Is that recover that, and then that's just going to stay hot for whenever we decide to serve. Let's check on our sprouts. So they're about halfway. They're actually looking pretty good. Going to use a spatula to give them a little toss around. So you can see some of the leaves are already getting crispy. Uh-oh. Back over there. So far, so good. Put that one back in while we finish stirring this guy. Pardon?
So have the chili and the garlic on it?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah. We lost the sprout. We saved it. Spread it back out. I'm back in. Is it looking good, guys? I think so. Okay, let's reset our timer. $12 more minutes. And then we're on our way. Pretty easy dinner today, guys, like I said. Stuff should not take you very long to prep. Get one more check on our chicken. Do this guy in the middle. $110. So we'll just let that keep simmering away, low and slow. And we should get some pretty nice and tender chicken thighs out of that. Another thing that I will be doing tonight is putting the pork shoulder into the marinade for our Cubano sandwiches tomorrow. And the marinade is garlic, parsley, paprika, cumin, salt and pepper, a little bit of lime juice, and some olive oil. So kind of a Cuban style marinade going on to that. And then I will be slow roasting it tomorrow. Probably start it around noon or just after I get home, I guess. And then it should be good by at least 6 o'clock, if not earlier. It should only take about 4 to 6 hours to braise in the oven. But if you didn't want to watch it at all during the day, just put it into your slow cooker in the morning before you go to work and you should be good to go. The only thing I would recommend flavor-wise is just searing it off on all sides in a hot pan before you put it in the slow cooker. Definitely notice a change in the flavor if you do that, because we're kind of caramelizing the meat first, right? And that's that. Well, I think while we wait, I'm gonna slice into our cornflake tart. What?
It took me 20 minutes to make the better carry you back. Going down Sun River Way,
Yeah.
and can do 63 kilometers an hour.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were in the shower.
Nope.
Tart time, I know. It just looks too good. Let's not waste any time here. I want to like prop this up a little bit closer to the camera. You need to see it fully. Trick for that, upside down pot. Yeah. Looks so good.
What's in the middle? I missed that. Is there anything in the middle?
So this is a pastry crust. I made the crust myself.
Yeah.
Then you par bake it for about 20 minutes, guys. 400 Fahrenheit oven. And I pricked a bunch of holes in the crust beforehand so it wouldn't puff up. And then as soon as it comes out, you spread on either strawberry jam or raspberry jam on the bottom. I did strawberry jam because I love strawberry jam. And then the cornflakes are mixed with some toasted peanuts, which is not typical for the recipe, and golden syrup, brown sugar, some butter, and vanilla. And then that gets all sticky and you just put that on top and let it set up. And then typically it's served with a custard. But I was thinking of doing ice cream instead today. But I think it would be good with neither of the things as well. So it's up to you. And you should get 8 servings. Unless it's just too good and you have to eat it all. It's allowed. Honestly, guys, I don't even know if I took a photo of this when it was done earlier. Let's check so that I can take one now if I need. Okay, 2 seconds before I start munching. Do it for the gram. Okay, you ready, Finster? Yum. Those layers, though. Okay, it's going away for now, guys. Oh, buddy. Sprouts are looking good. I had to peek. Okay, we're going in. Look at that pastry crust. And our little layer of jam. And our cornflakes and peanuts. PB&J style. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I thought it would be overly sweet, but it's not. I think the peanuts were a really good addition into that. Just give it like an extra nuttiness. And the cornflakes give it all of the crunch that you would want. And the strawberry jam, honestly, is not that powerful of a flavor compared to the cornflakes and the peanuts, so I think it's pretty well balanced. You can do this with vanilla ice cream or strawberry ice cream. Really, whatever you want. Or if you want, you can make a custard as well. But that's delicious. I am so down with that. Probably fool around with a couple different styles. Like maybe next time we'll do cashews and raspberry jam, right? I'm into it. Well done, UK folks. And I still can't believe that was something that they used to get in their school cafeterias.
What?
Yeah. So everyone's memory of this is where the recipe came from, was their school dinners,
Yeah.
aka in the cafeteria at lunchtime. So it's a lunch lady recipe.
So it's a spin-off, like Rice Krispie Squares kind of thing.
Really good. Guys, Barry's here. He's doing the sniff test.
Smells good. Smells good. Your soccer was good today?
Okay, one more temp test.
I wasn't worried.
So like right in the middle part. $118, $120. So we're going up slowly. You don't want to rush this at all, guys. You'll just end up with dry chicken thighs or legs. I'll turn it up a little bit more if I want. And maybe move the pan a little bit on the burner so this side gets more cooked. Because this is the biggest one that I tempt. So obviously every other one is a little bit more well done than that. And that is okay because there's only 4 of us eating right away. And then if I need to finish the other 2 legs off while we eat, that is totally fine. Less than a minute on our sprouts. Then we're gonna check them out. Finster, I love that you just said Barry. So we used to work with someone actually named Barry, and that's what we would always say is if he like did something hilarious or stupid, we'd be like, Barry. He'd be like, what? That was always my thing with him. Barry. Oh yeah. Look at those scrunchions. Crispy pieces. We need to test the sprout out. Let's go with one of the bigger ones. Just gonna let it cool down for a couple seconds before I munch. And this way I can also taste the seasoning to see if it needs anything else. Mm-hmm. So it's perfectly cooked. I think it just needs a touch of salt and like maybe a hint of maple syrup for sweetness. And typically the maple syrup also helps to kind of combat that really cabbagey taste. So we can turn our oven off and let those just sit in there. But I am gonna finish dressing them, so jar of maple syrup. Just gonna drizzle a little bit of this over top and then just put them back in the oven. Just waiting on one person here. Like I said, a touch more salt. Probably just about a spoonful of maple syrup drizzled over top. And then maybe if we put those back into the oven, they'll caramelize a little bit. How many genders are there? What kind of question is that? Okay, let's do our other tray. Because yum. So good. A trolley one, I know, Finn. Not falling for it. Okay, one more check on the chicken, guys, and then it's plate up time. It already feels done. I can tell. That guy's good. That guy's good. Okay, sauce is coming off. Let's do this. Loosen up our pasta if it decided to stick at all, which luckily it didn't. That's why we oiled it. One tray of the sprouts. Silencio. First thing on the plate will be our pasta. Let's make a nice bed of that for your chicken and the sauce. And then just cover it back up to keep it warm. Take this center chicken leg. Nestle it right on there. Then we're gonna spoon some of the sauce over top. Trying to keep the chicken skin a little bit crispy, so I'm just gonna go around with the sauce. Got a little messy, so I'm just wiping my hands. And the plate. Dongs! You made it, dude. How much bacon grease is on the sprouts? Sadly, there's none. And we used white wine in the sauce. You're so late and you have so many questions. Yeah, it's a problem. And then just a nice scoop of sprouts to go on the side. And I'm sure these will taste amazing when they start to soak up that tomato sauce as well. To me, this is a nice simple meal. chicken, some pasta. We'll jazz it up a little bit with our fresh chives, because why not? That's where we're at, guys. Yum. You've only ever made bacon sprouts? I mean, that is pretty much the best way to make them, but we just did olive oil and then the chili garlic oil today. With a touch of maple syrup to finish. Quick pick, and then it's food time. Yum. Simple 30 bucks at a restaurant, at least Finster. Okay, so first things first, a little bit of pasta with the sauce. Peppers taste nice and roasty now. Obviously, they're really nice and tender. Get in on a sprout, nice golden brown and crunchy. Thank you. So the sprouts are like perfectly tender and just a little bit crunchy on the outside. Really, really good. I'm happy that I put the maple syrup on there. I always find that they're lacking a little bit if we don't add some sweetness. Okay, let's take off a piece of the chicken. I don't know if you're ready for that one, Finster. It's just a little bit juicy. Just a bit. You love Brussels. Yes, I know. Brussels and maple syrup for the win. Yeah, that's a perfectly cooked chicken leg. Bless. Pretty pumped about this dish. Honestly, the only thing I think I would put on this is maybe a little bit of cheese. But no one used cheese in any of the recipes that I looked at. But I think we're going to put on a little bit of parm, or we have some soft mozza still that I think would be good with pasta. I always find it tough to eat any kind of pasta without cheese on it. That's just me. Just give me the cheese. Goth to Boss, what is up? Time Doctor, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I missed that later. And that is it, guys. Finster, thanks for being here the whole time, dude. One last look at the dish. It's still steaming. So good. Dongs, if you have any questions about what I did today, just message me either on Discord or on Whisper on here. And all you newbies, feel free to hit that follow button so you're notified when I go live. And pop in on our Discord. It's a pretty fun server. And that's where I post all of the recipes that I come up with. So invite link is on my channel page. And I also have my Instagram linked there too if you want to check out what I cook. And that is it, guys. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. And we are making Cubano sandwiches from scratch, bread and everything. And just a nice simple salad to go on the side with that. So everyone have a great night. Thanks for being here once again. Love you all. And I will see you tomorrow. Night, Finster.